to take a look at some interrogative expressions from Discovering French Unité 3, Leçon 8. Let's take a look at a few interrogative expressions, and by that I mean they ask you something and let you know that a question is beginning. So, we've got où, where, quand, when, à quelle heure, at what time, comment, how, pourquoi, why, qui, and note that there's a star with this qui. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. À qui, to whom, de qui, about whom, pour qui, for whom, and de qui, of whom or of who. So my formula, just like algebra problems, there's formula with many expressions in French and formations of sentences or questions as in this example. And my formula is, I take one of these interrogative expressions, où, quand, à quelle heure, comment, pourquoi, à qui, de qui, pour qui, and de qui. Then I add est-ce que, then I add my subject and my verb. And this is how I form a where, when, at what time, how, why, à qui, to whom, of whom, for whom, and I've got this 2 times, guys, sorry. Okay, avec should be down there, not that one. Avec qui, let's add that, with whom. Okay, so, all of these are my interrogative expressions. Then I put est-ce que, then I put my subject, and then I put my verb. So let's look at some questions that we formed over here on the board. Où est-ce que tu étudies? Where do you study? J'étudie en classe. So my interrogative expression is où, and what answers it in the response is where en classe. Pourquoi est-ce que vous cuisinez? Why do you cook? You in here I'm using as a group, and we're going to talk about this a little bit. Parce que nous aimons manger, because we like to eat. If I have a pourquoi question, I'm going to have some parce que. Because is going to be part of my response. Okay. Your word vous can talk about one person or about more than one. If you're asking a group of people, like here, why do you cook? We would be our response. Because we like to eat. Just be careful. You have to look at your context clues when you're choosing on writing or answering a vous question. And make sure that you're not talking about one person formally. Then your response would have to use je. But for the exercises that we're doing in class, in general, I want you to think of vous, that I'm going to answer with nous. Because usually when you all are speaking on exercises in class, we're using the informal. Okay. Quand est-ce qu'elle danse? When does she dance? 2 things I want you to pay attention to. Quand, of course, when. But here with the que, we get rid of the e in the que, and we add an apostrophe because elle begins with E. So don't forget our liaison. So, quand est-ce qu'elle danse? Elle danse samedi matin. Samedi matin is the direct answer to when. So, for each of the interrogative expressions that we have, there's something that goes with the word où for this one, en classe in the response. Pourquoi? Why? Parce que. Because. Quand, when, samedi matin. Okay, we're going to do a few more together. One in particular that I want to look at is, we've just done the quand. Now we're going to look at à quelle heure. À quelle heure est-ce que tu manges? Le déjeuner. Whenever you see à quelle heure in my response, I have to have an exact time. So, je mange le déjeuner à midi. Would answer it, or I could say à 11h30. This has to be an exact time to go along with the à quelle heure. Okay. Let's look at a few of the key ones now, just so we see those. And if you remember, I put an asterisk or a star next to the key. We'll go back to that in a moment, but we're going to look at a few of the other ones. De qui est-ce que tu parles? About whom are you speaking? De qui? Paying close attention to this de. Je parle de Johnny. Look at this. My de gets put in the response and the qui is replaced by a specific person. So, de qui, about whom or of whom do you speak? Je parle de Johnny. I'm talking about Johnny. I could also answer it with je parle de mon frère. Again, my de comes back here, and who? My brother. So, your question, it gets shot back at you in your response, and you can see. So when you're learning this de qui, avec qui, we're going to look at avec qui now. Avec qui est-ce que tu nages? Avec qui est-ce que tu nages? Je nage avec ma copine. With whom are you swimming? I am swimming with my friend. Avec ma copine. Here's my avec, and here is my qui being answered. So as we learn these, you need to make sure that you see these items come back in your response. The last one I want to take a look at today is the one with the storm, qui. This one's a little bit different. With qui, you remove the est que. So my formula for qui is qui plus the subject. Go back a step. Qui plus the verb. Question. This qui you need to think of for your verb with il or elle singulier. That's going to tell me which verb form I need to use. Arrête. So, qui étudie à la maison? Who is studying at the house? Jean étudie